What's up everybody, it's Andy here and welcome to my Game Week 4 review. This is a weekly series where I just take you through my team, go through the points that each player has scored, and my general feelings around those players, so whether I'm looking at getting rid of them in any time soon, and kind of a potential look ahead to some transfer I might make next week. And then based on some feedback as well, this week I'm going to look through the Let's Talk FPL Leagues, because I haven't done that and I've not really been keeping track of it and showing you who's top. So we'll take a look at the top, say, 10 players, see where I am in the league and how I'm doing. And also this week I think I'm going to take a look at XG stats. So I've had a look at some of them for the weekend, and that might show you whether a player is worth bringing in or not based on how their team did. Maybe their team got lucky, and it'll be a very brief explanation about what that is. So let's just jump straight into it and check on how my team did for this week. So, jumping straight into it, like I said, this is my team for this week. 45 points, basically. It's my worst week so far. It's going to be around about the average. The reason I've put in a rough rank 304,000 is because that's what it is right now. But I'm recording this on Monday night. The West Ham game has finished, but ranks and stuff haven't updated, and I can't record this later on, so I want to just get it done before the rank updates. But the average before tonight was 41. Huddersfield had conceded, and West Ham scorers weren't anything special. It wasn't Hernandez or something like that, so don't expect the rank to change too much, or the average, to be honest. So 304,000. I was about 396,000 last week, so I've gone up quite a bit. Nice green arrow. Wasn't quite as good as expected, but when you only score 45, I think you're looking okay. So let's jump into kind of the players. Foster, another game week, another non-clean sheet. He's still got 2 out of 4, so I'm not super worried about him. I think it's Stoke up next, so it's not the worst fixture. I think I'm going to play him for that one. But yeah, long term, I think he probably has to go. On wildcard, I don't think I'll have Foster anymore. But for now, I'm not looking at using. It's a bit of a luxury to make a goalkeeper change, so I think I'm going to keep him for now. But like I said, 2 points not ideal. And then defence just did absolutely nothing. Bought Norton in, hoping that he'd get a clean sheet against Newcastle. Just didn't happen. Only got the 1 point, which is a bit annoying. Long term, Swansea got decent fixtures, so I'm hoping he can get some clean sheet returns. But the other thing with him is, got him in because he was playing right wing back, which I thought might present a few more attacking opportunities. And they went back to a flat back 4. I think they've got so many centre midfielders now that they kind of put a few more men there. Obviously Sanchez is there now, Renato Sanchez. So I'm obviously going to keep Norton, not going to get rid of him, only just got him in. But 4.5 million should do okay, but disappointing that he only got 1 point against Newcastle. And then Bertrand, Southampton, obviously didn't do too well. They lost 2-0 to Watford. I'd say now is probably the time to start jumping off with Southampton defenders. They got 3 not awful fixtures, but it's 2 away games plus I think Man United at home, so they're real good fixtures start again in Game Week 8. And we've seen in the past that Southampton can have some really good Game Week 8 fixtures and point scoring potential, so maybe look at bringing them back then. Bertrand I'm probably going to keep for now, but he is possibly in my plans to get rid of. In fact, this week I may get rid of him for Davies, who I think looks almost essential, so keep an eye on that for sure. And then Sutner, Brighton conceded. I felt like I could get a clean sheet from him this week against West Brom, but obviously they conceded after going 3-0 up. Not ideal. I think again Sutner probably long term I need to get rid of him. I don't know if Brighton are going to do the business either in front of goal or kind of defending their own goal. But yeah, defence in general wasn't good for me this week. So let's move on to midfield, where it doesn't really get much better. Atsu may have been rested because of the international break. He did play Ghana. Sorry, not play Ghana. Played for Ghana. Played 2 games. So hopefully his benching was because of that. I still think at 5 million he could represent value. So I'm not going to get rid of him just yet. But 1 point, not ideal. Came off the bench. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. I had Charlie Daniels on the bench for 1 point. So not great there. And then we'll do Salah and Mkhitaryan first. So Salah 1 point. Came off at half time. It's annoying because Liverpool were down to 10 men, and obviously they probably weren't going to win that match, but I felt like Salah was their only outlet who could maybe hold the ball up or chase a ball, long ball, and maybe cause Man City a few problems, which means they wouldn't have been attacking the whole time. But for whatever reason, Klopp decided to take him off, put on Oxlade-Chamberlain instead, only got 1 point. It's disappointing. If Mane hadn't got that red card, who knows what would have happened. Salah had some really good chances. There was one where he absolutely should have side-footed it past the keeper and just ballsed it up. Looking at his expected goals return, they kind of look at about 3 goals so far for him, and he's only scored 2. So things are looking good for Salah. I think goals are coming, hopefully assists as well. And we've seen that he can put a good ball in like he did a couple of games ago for Sturridge. So I'm still happy with Salah. His start for me has been a bit annoying. Obviously, missed 1 game, then he got subbed in half of another game, so he's only played 2 full games. But I still think he'll do well going forward. We'll just have to see how Klopp manages him around Champions League, which is starting up this week. Mkhitaryan, 2 points. Yes, not ideal. He could have had an assist if Lukaku had put away his. Obviously, Lukaku got his goal, but if he'd put away the first shot, then Mkhitaryan would have had an assist, and we wouldn't be sitting there worrying about him. So I'm not. I think he still represents good value. I'm holding on to him for now. And then Eriksen, the main man, finally gets a goal for me. Spurs look decent in general against Everton. They've obviously got really good fixtures coming up, so I'm really happy with Eriksen. He's nailed in my team. Not much more to say on him, really. Great result. Kane finally scores in the Premier League. Goes and gets a brace. First goal, a bit lucky. It was obviously just supposed to be a cross. He even came out and said that himself. But all the points count in FPL, so really happy about that. Didn't captain him. Felt Lukaku was the better option, who did get me a goal, which is nice. But obviously would have preferred to captain Kane. But he's going to be my captain going forward now, I think. Especially this week against Swansea. So really happy with those returns. I think for now, I'm going to probably keep both of them. But longer term, I think Lukaku will be the one I'll look to get rid of. Not because he's done anything wrong, I just think there's better value out there. And then Gabiadini, 2 points. Has to go. Nothing more to say than that. Southampton look awful in attack. Yes, he got a bit unlucky in the first few games where he hit the crossbar twice. 1 goal in 4 games, not good enough. 7 million, he's gone. Who he's gone for, I don't know just yet. I'm going to look at that in the preview. I've basically got 2 options. I can downgrade into someone like Abraham or Joselu. And upgrade my defence quite a bit, or I bring in Firmino, which means getting rid of someone like Lukaku, so I can still afford Davies. So a potential move I'm looking at, because I've got 2 free transfers, is a -4 of Lukaku, Gabiadini and Bertrand out to bring in Jesus, Firmino and Davies, which I think will score more points. It's just whether I've got the balls to get rid of Lukaku as part of a -4. So that's kind of my team for this week. Obviously on the bench, Elliott got 8 points. Maybe I'll have to start playing him soon, but I think Foster's got the better fixture this week. Daniels also has Brighton this week, so I'm definitely keeping him. Tom Carroll's bench for it, and so's Long. So that's kind of my team for this week. 45 points. I'm not devastated with it. It could have been better, but it's once you start getting sub 30, that's when you really want to panic. I think this is okay going forward with 2 free transfers. I can definitely amend it. So yeah, that's my team. Now let's take a look at the league. Let's Talk FPL League, and we'll go through that and see how things are going. So this is the Let's Talk FPL League. As you can see, some players are doing really well so far. For context, really, I've got 221 points, and the person top of the league here has 278. Now, as you'll see from the blue bar at the top, it is still updating because, like I said earlier in the video, the game week's just finished, so it's going to take a little while for it to update. But I know the top guy, and I'm going to try and pronounce this name, but I'm going to butcher this, is Vli Rasanan, something like that. I do apologise. I think that's probably Norwegian or Finnish or something like that. But he's up to 68 points now, so he's leading the league by quite a way. Already beating me by about 50 points, so fair play to that man. And then just looking down the list, apologies if you guys are all in the streams and I just don't know your name. I think probably a lot of people's names on here is different than it is on YouTube. But Jeff Holt, for example, is always in the streams, joint 3rd right now, 259, doing really well. So fair play to Jeff. And then me, all the way down here, position 195, which is just pretty bad. 221, like I said, already 50 points behind the pace. Hopefully, I can do the business and come back. I can't remember what my finish was last year. It wasn't great, but 195. I've got some work to do to catch top of the shop. But what we'll do is we'll keep checking this in the review every week just to see how players are doing and see the kind of standard that Let's Talk FPL's currently about. But we've got over 1,000 people in this league, so it's definitely going to be competitive. I'm not expecting to win it. I would love to, but we'll see who joins Jamie Davern from last year, who won it last year. So there you go. There's top of the shop. 278 points right now. That might go up a little bit by the end of the game week. So you guys have got a lot to do to catch up with him, but the good thing is there's still 34 weeks left. So fingers crossed. And now we'll take a look at XG stats. Just a quick run through the XG stats, expected goals for the weekend just gone. Okay, so these are the expected goal stats for this weekend from the games that were played. Now, I'm not going to spend ages explaining what this is. If you want to know, then I would just recommend Googling what is expected goals or what are they, how they worked out, etc. To give you a super brief overview, essentially Opta, who do a lot of the stats for like people like Sky, BBC and stuff, and they basically just track everything. They look at the quality of a shot, kind of where it was taken. Was it a header? Was it a volley? Kind of, was there anyone blocking it? Was it close to goal, far from goal, etc.? And they measure the quality of the shot, and then they've got hundreds and thousands of shots, and basically they kind of rank what's the chances of scoring that goal. So if a player had that shot over and over again, how many times out of 10 would they score it? And basically they give you a value for that, and they add all the chances up throughout the game. That gives you your expected goals. So if your expected goals is low and you've scored a lot, then you've probably gotten a bit lucky along the way. If your expected goals is high and you've only won like 1 or 2-0, then maybe you could have scored a few more. And the kind of idea is that you have a look at what teams did or didn't do and how they might fare going forward. Now, expected goals is something you kind of need to look at over a good sample size. So looking at it for one weekend is probably not going to tell you absolutely everything, but I think there's a few key ones on here that I want to point out. So I'll just run through them. So Man City, for example, scored 5 goals. Their expected goals was 2.82, so they probably scored a couple more than they should have, but they were playing against 10 men, so it's fair enough. Southampton, 0.34. Barely creating any good chances. I think their attackers look poor this season. Definitely going to get off the Gabbiadini train myself. Other ones that stand out is Brighton. They scored 3 goals, yet their expected goals was 0.35. That tells me that they got really lucky and that Gross, 2 goals and an assist, is probably not going to repeat that. So I'm not in a rush to get him in for $5.5 million. I think I want to see a lot more from Brighton before I start spending that. I mean, 5.5 million is not huge, but I don't think I want to change any of my players to bring him in. 0.35 is really poor. Tottenham, 2.2, scored 3 goals. That's not too bad. You wouldn't expect them to kind of go downhill rapidly, especially with the fixtures they got. So that looks good. And obviously the Stoke Man United match was 2-2, so expected goals there look pretty good. Burnley and Crystal Palace is really interesting again. So Burnley, 0.3 expected goals. They scored a goal. They didn't really do much attacking wise. They were probably lucky to not concede. Palace created some great chances. Scott Dan could have had a hat-trick, which is ridiculous for a defender. He was playing up front by the end of the game. Had an absolute sitter of a header. All he had to do was put it on target and it was a goal and he missed. So Palace and maybe Frank de Boer, unlucky to be sacked, to be honest. 1.86. Basically, they play that game again. They score nearly 2 goals every game. So, you know, if they play it over and over, most of the time they'll score at least 1 or 2 goals with that kind of expected goals. So keep an eye on them, especially someone like Scott Dan could do well. And then we can look at next week, but it's got West Ham's game on basically. They scored 2, expected goals was just over 2. That's fair enough. I think Javier Hernandez probably tired after playing for Mexico. He came off about 60 minutes. Antonio played really well, but he didn't get any points. So we'll have to see how he does going forward. But that's basically expected goals. Let me know what you think about this, whether you want me to talk through it. I'm not going to spend ages on this because going through one weekend's worth of expected goals doesn't really tell you everything. Some teams will outscore their expected goals over a period of time and then it will regress. It could take a while for it to do that. We don't know basically until we've got a good sample size. But I think looking at teams like Brighton get 0.35 and they scored 3 tells you that maybe they got lucky. So like I say, let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this this part of the video, and I'll maybe try and include it next week. Let me know what you thought about the going through the league. I know I went through it quickly, but it's a good idea just to kind of look at how people are doing. And obviously I'll keep going through the review of my team every week. But yeah, if you enjoyed that, give it a thumbs up. Please comment below, let me know what you think of the format. Do you like this? Was it too rushed? Was it not enough info? Always appreciate the feedback, and I'll try and adapt for the next video. Yeah, thumbs up, subscribe if you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed already, that'll let you know when the next video is going out and when I'm live streaming. I live stream twice a week, once after the game week's finished and once before it starts, going through all your questions live, nothing pre-submitted. Otherwise, I'm going to leave that there. That's my team, expected goals, and the league review. I think that's good for this video. So yeah, like, share, retweet, all that good stuff. Subscribe for more, and I will catch you next time. Cheers for watching.